for the music you don't hear anywhere else. Northside Radio, FM 99.3.
And we have on the line from New York City, Mr. Paul McCartney. Great to have you on the show, Paul.
Oh, hi there, Ray. Great to be with you, Ray. Hi to all you listeners there in Sydney. I love Sydney, yeah.
Great, and we can't wait to see you here, Paul. Now, tell us about the tour.
Yeah, well, we've got a great little tour of ours coming up, you know, Ray. We're doing all the big cities and even a few regional spots like Newcastle.
Great to see. The show should be amazing. So what material are you covering? I guess you're doing all your classics from over the years.
Oh, yeah, of course, Ray. You know, we know all the songs you love. Of course, we'll be doing all my big hits.
Yeah, and there are just so many hits, Paul, over such a long career. Amazing. Now, I know you get asked this all the time, but we have to ask it, as you were in that one band, a band that had such an enormous and, I might say, ongoing cultural impact on us all. You know the band I mean.
Oh, yeah, Ray.
Yes, Wings. Now, I have to ask, will Wings ever get back together, Paul?
No, Ray. Linda's dead. And Danny Lane went off with some German avant-garde artist. So we haven't spoken for years.
Oh, right. Oh, fair enough. There we go.
Yeah, look, Ray, I don't really want to talk about Wings. I mean, I get so many questions about Wings. I'm so fed up, you know, Wings. Will Wings get back together and all that stuff, you know? You know, I've been in other bands, you know, I've had a great solo career, you know. All everyone ever wants to talk about is bloody Wings, you know. You know, I tell you, Ray, I had a great little skiffle band in the 1960s called the Beatles.
Right. Well, tell us more about that, Paul.
Yeah, we were just four young guys, really simple skiffle band and rockabilly, you know, great fun.
Yep.
And so for a change on this tour that we're doing now, we're going to do some Beatles songs, you know.
Right.
You know, it's from a time not many people have heard about in my career because I was so young. But before I formed Wings, I had this great little band called the Beatles, yeah.
All right, well, tell us more about the Beatles, Paul.
Well, we formed in Liverpool in the late 50s and played around Liverpool and got pretty big. And then we did a big tour of Germany, well, Hamburg particular, and we played there 8 nights a week.
Don't you mean 8 days a week, like the song?
No, Ray, there's only 7 days in a week.
All right, okay, well, go on, tell us more.
Yeah, so anyway, we were working really hard in Hamburg. I think we were exploited, Ray, you know, terrible working conditions.
Yep.
All four of us slept in one room above the gig.
Yeah.
And each night 4 or 5 young girls had to come and stay with us, you know. It was so cramped, really terrible. And like 10 of us sleeping in one room, just shocking, you know. I think I'm going to make a complaint to the German government for child abuse. You know, we were just kids, you know. That's the way we were treated in Hamburg all those years ago.
Right, that's amazing, Paul. So what happened to the Beatles? What? You know?
Well, we only lasted up to 1969. You know, we had to stop doing gigs because they just got so noisy.
Right.
You know, we got into trouble for causing distress to all the young girls. You know, they just scream and go crazy.
Really?
Hysterical, you know.
Yep.
And so we couldn't get any more gigs.
That's astonishing. Oh, well. So what happened?
Yeah, no one would book us, so we had to resort to playing on the top of office buildings, you know, in the middle of London in winter.
What?
It's just appalling, Ray,
Oh,
you know, only a
yeah.
handful of people could see us because we're up on the top of these buildings, you know, in the middle of London, you know.
Yeah, God.
They're really useless, and the cops had come along and shut us down, you know.
Yeah.
So we just split up, and I went on to bigger and better things, of course, with Wings, you know.
Well, that's amazing, Paul. The Beatles. I'll have to check them out online. So when do you arrive in Australia? When does the tour kick off, Paul?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about Wings, Ray.
Yeah, I know.
You know, I had this great little band called the Beatles.
Yeah, Paul, you just told us all about them. Tell us about the tour. How many shows are you doing? When does it start, you know?
I'm not really sure, Ray. You'd have to check the website. Did I tell you about this great little band I had called the Beatles when I was a kid?
Yeah, Paul, we've talked about that. Can we stick to the questions? When does the tour start? Who's in the band? What's happening?
I'm not really sure, Ray. You'd have to check the website. I don't want to talk about Wings, but I had this great little band called the Beatles. Have you heard of them?
Oh, Paul, you've told us about that. Can we stick to the questions, you know? Talk.
Yeah, can we talk about the Beatles, you know?
Look, Paul McCartney, forget about it.